When I started this, I kind of didn't realize that Friday was only a couple of days away. Or that July actually ends on a Friday, which means the end-of-month video gets to pull double duty. Oh well, I guess it balances out since that means I still have to make 4 update videos throughout the month. So, how have the first few days of progress gone for my July goals? This one has been a little bit difficult, as I advance my practice of more difficult forms of the human frame to become more tedious and take much more effort to do, which seems like it would be common sense now that I think about it. What I need to do though is use some of the time more effectively. When I'm watching a video on YouTube, exporting a Let's Play, something like that, I should be using the time to work on parts of the day's page instead of trying to finish up in a hurry at the end of the night before sleeping. However, luckily, I am seeing some degree of progress in the drawings, and I'm having to fill less of each page with line work and plain geometry to get my hand used to drawing, which means I can spend more time actually practicing the human frame. Only so much work I can do that is just straight up lines and circles at this point. Unsurprisingly, I still do not enjoy working out. I find it to be a tedious pain in the neck and generally hate every second of it regardless of what the workout is. Luckily, I've found a way to sort of make it work. Each of the workouts you see here are workouts I can do that suck at least a little bit less than normal. By choosing any 2 of these workout sets, I can do each to completion, and that'll take approximately 15 to 20 minutes. With the working out, I find myself in a similar position to the sketching, though, that I tend to let it wait until the end of the night to finish off, and that's not a good way of doing this. When I work out that late, it messes up my sleeping and it makes it too damn warm for me to be able to get comfortable. I need to try to roll the workouts into my morning routine. Get up, work out, get it done with so it's not sitting over my head for the rest of my day like a sort of sweaty, irritating Damocles. So far, so good on this front. With my work schedule, it is a little difficult to consistently balance free time actually doing my job and recording satisfying videos. My solution is to spend some of my nights and weekends recording a fairly significant backlog and then using YouTube scheduling to ensure that there's always a video for each day. That way, if I feel like it, if I have time, whatever, I can always make another video and upload it if I want to double up for the day. I've actually ignored these for now for 2 reasons. 1, it's difficult, and 2, I'm lazy. No, I'm just kidding. I've not fixed up the gym area yet, but the office has actually gotten dusted and vacuumed. My plan is, while the video is processing, to go through the last handful of paperwork on my desk. I think part of the reason this is difficult to do is because it's a little tedious. Ultimately, I think the best way to move forward is just setting aside a half hour and working on part of the task. For this particular goal, I actually don't know. My Scales batteries have died, and for reasons thus unknown to me, there's some reason that the people who made it use one of those little stupid dime batteries. So, I'm awaiting a delivery from Amazon to replace a dead battery and let me test it. I did establish my starting weight the day that this did begin, though, so I can at least use that as a reference point. So, here's what my old schedule plan looked like, and you can probably tell why it failed. I ran into a few problems with this one, namely it was somehow too rigid and too loose at different times of the day. What I've done is I've taken this as a baseline and updated it to give me a little bit more leeway while still allowing me some form of rigidity. This new one is a work in progress still. Definitely not set in stone as I think things over. I am continuing the trend of breaking it down by daily, weekly, and monthly tasks though. Historically, this has seemed the best way to ensure that things never get too messy, and it is always easier to prevent major issues instead of solving them when it becomes too cluttered or creates a real problem. As a part of this, I'm not sure what I want to do with the checklist idea. Originally, the checklist was a series of self-care objectives that I occasionally forgot about or slack on, especially when life is getting to me. The items that I originally had on it were fairly important, so I really don't want to skip them. But I'll have to go ahead and think this down more for the coming week and try to pin down a method to move forward. So, overall, for the first few days of this, it's actually been fairly well. I'm starting to build up the habits. I think it takes, I want to say about 60 days or so to actually properly establish a habit. So I don't expect some of these habits to kick in for quite a while. But overall, this is a very good thing, and I'm very happy I'm doing it. And I hope that you all are going to continue to watch and enjoy the progress as it comes along, and maybe use this motivation to take care of some things like this of your own. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the next update.